You ever have one of those weeks where you can feel the chaos coming before it even knocks? Yeah, that was my Monday. And let me tell you, it hit harder than 3 cups of gas station coffee on an empty stomach. Picture this: the smell of fresh brew mixed with sawdust, sunbeams catching dust motes dancing over walnut slabs, and me in my old flannel working the last coat of finish into a coffee table that was supposed to buy me at least 2 days of peace. My shop, reclaimed revival, that's my place, isn't much to look at, but every piece I build carries its own scars, its own story, kind of like its owner. And apparently so do the customers. Sometimes those stories, man, they turn into full-blown nightmares before you even know you're in one. So I'm in the zone, right? Then the bell above the front door jingles, sharp, metallic. Not the friendly kind. Usually that means cash is about to change hands. This time, no such luck. Trouble had a name, and it wore oversized sunglasses indoors. She walked in like she owned the street, clutching her purse like it held launch codes, and gave my shop the once-over like she was collecting evidence. "You're the owner?" she asked with a tone like she was already filing a complaint with the universe. "I am," I said, wiping my hands, trying to play it cool. "What can I do for you?" She steps closer, perfume cutting through the varnish and the day-old muffin smell from the cafe next door. "I ordered that farmhouse bench 2 weeks ago, and it does not match the sample in your showroom." "Oh boy, here we go. Mrs. Cooper, right? Weathered oak finish?" She nods. Lips pursed so tight I thought she might snap in half. I start my usual spiel about how every piece is unique, wood grain has a mind of its own, blah blah. "That's the charm, you know. The charm." She spits back like I tried to hand her a moldy sandwich. "My husband says it looks cheap. I want a refund." Now, there are a lot of things I can do in this world, but refunding a custom piece built to spec, that's not one of them. Still, I keep it polite. "I'm sorry you're unhappy, but the policy's clear. If there's a defect in your business ethics," she snaps so loud folks at the cafe next door turn their heads. I just nod, try to keep my poker face. "If you want, I can refinish the piece." She waves me off like I'm a mosquito. "Don't bother. My husband will be hearing about this." "Sounds good," I say, maybe a little too dry. "Tell him I said hi." She storms out, heels firing off the linoleum like gunshots, muttering about small-time operations and reporting me to the show, whatever that means. I figured that was the end of it. You run a shop long enough, you deal with your fair share of Karens, but the way she said my husband will handle it stuck with me like a splinter you can't dig out. That night as I locked up, I noticed a silver SUV idling across the street. Lights off, no plates up front, just sitting there, engine ticking. I told myself it was nothing. Delivery guy, maybe working late, scrolling on his phone. But the next morning, my front door latch had fresh scratches, and the security camera wire was sliced clean, neat as a surgeon. That's when I knew Mrs. Cooper's husband wasn't just hearing about it, he was planning something all right. Thing is, I wasn't supposed to be there that night. But I'd stayed late finishing up a reclaimed oak dresser for a wedding client. Around 11:30, I heard it. Not the regular creaks and groans, something deliberate. The sound of someone testing the back window. My shop's not big. Tools on one wall, scraps on the other, everything else just open space and shadows. The smell of stain and steel hanging thick in the air. Only light was my workbench lamp. I switched it off, heart hammering, and the room went black except for the moonlight spilling through the front window. Then another sound. Door handle rattling. Whispered voices outside. "Cut it. Here," one of them says, "a man, rough and mean." My blood runs cold. Karen's husband, for sure. I duck behind the counter phone, shaking in my hand as I dial 911. I keep my voice low, steady. "This is Reclaimed Revival on Maple. There's someone trying to break in back door." The dispatcher keeps me talking, voice calm. "Are you safe for now?" Then crack the door splinters, and they're inside. The man who steps through, well, you could pick him out of a lineup. Mid-50s, red-faced beer gut, moving like he watched too many late-night cop shows. Crowbar in hand. "Where are you, tough guy?" he barks. "You think you can rip off my wife?" I hold my breath. Phone still on dispatcher, still listening. "Units are on the way." "Stay hidden," she whispers. He starts trashing my shop, knocking over a display glass, breaking, muttering about frauds and $2,000. He's not alone. There's a younger guy with him, twitchy phone flashlight sweeping the floor. "Dude, just grab the stuff and go." "No," the older man growls. "He's going to learn." I hear the sirens faint at first. They start rifling through the empty register, then spot my new camera setup. "Found it," the younger guy calls. "He's got footage." "Smash it," comes the order, and he raises that crowbar just as the front window explodes in a strobe of blue and white. Police hands where we can see them. SWAT storms in floodlights, cutting through the dust. Both guys drop face first, hands out like they practiced it. Cups clicking louder than the sirens, adrenaline burning through my veins. I realized when an officer pulled me from behind the counter, I'd been holding my breath the whole time. "You're lucky you called when you did," he says, calm but firm. "They weren't just here to steal." And he was right, because when they searched the husband's backpack, out came lighter fluid and rags. This wasn't a refund mission. This was payback, pure and simple. Next morning, my shop looked like something out of a crime drama window. Boarded yellow tape everywhere, the air heavy with a weird mix of lighter fluid and leftover fear. I hadn't slept, not with the police reports, the statements, and the realization that a suburban dad had just tried to torch my livelihood over a bench. I'm running on fumes and stale coffee when at 8 sharp, a familiar shrill voice cuts through the quiet. "You've got to be kidding me, Karen." She's outside the tape, hands on hips, sunglasses like armor hair, so perfect it looks like a helmet. "What did you do?" she snaps, like, "I'm the problem." I just blink at her, honestly stunned. "What did I do?" "Your husband broke into my store last night with lighter fluid and a crowbar." She rolls her eyes, waves me off. "Oh, please. He was protecting our property. You refused a refund?" He was making a point. I almost laughed. Almost. He made a point, all right. Straight to county jail. That's when she pulls out the HOA card. "You realize this violates community standards, right? You've brought law enforcement into a residential business zone. There are rules here." I can't believe what I'm hearing. "You're seriously trying to fine me because your husband got arrested." She doesn't even flinch. "I'll be bringing this up at the next HOA meeting." This kind of drama doesn't belong in our neighborhood. I mean, the woman's husband just got tackled by SWAT, and her biggest concern is the neighborhood aesthetic. One of the officers overheard tries not to laugh. "Ma'am, your husband's facing felony charges. Maybe get a lawyer before you worry about HOA meetings." Her expression cracks just a hair, but she covers it quick, huffing off heels, clacking like punctuation. A few days later, just when I thought things might settle down, I get this email from the HOA president, a guy named Greg, who signs every email with warm regards like it's a legal threat. "Dear Mr. Lawson, we've received a complaint from Mrs. Cooper regarding disturbances caused by law enforcement activity at your business. Please be advised that the board will discuss this at the upcoming HOA meeting. Attendance is strongly recommended." I read it twice, then just laugh one of those borderline crazy laughs you get when you're way past tired. Fine, I think. If they want to make this an HOA issue, I'll bring everything: security footage, police statements, even my 911 call with the world's calmest dispatcher on speaker. So I show up at that HOA meeting the next week, picture jury duty crossed with a bad reality show, plastic chairs, burnt coffee neighbors looking at you like you're the villain of the month. Greg sits at the front, polo-tucked white sneakers, all suburban dad confidence. Next to him is Karen, papers stacked like she's about to prosecute the trial of the century. "Mr. Lawson, thank you for coming. We're here to address a matter of public disturbance involving your business. Disturbance, I say? You mean the armed break-in? Karen's lips curl. Your business created a spectacle, disturbed the peace, and violated HOA quiet hours. My husband broke into my store with lighter fluid, I say, and she gasps like I just swore in church. You don't have to be rude. I lean forward, can't help it. You're lucky I'm not being a whole lot ruder. Greg clears his throat. Let's keep this civil. I reach into my bag, slide a USB stick across the table. This is the police body cam footage from that night. It's got your husband shouting about getting revenge while holding a lit match. Suddenly you could hear a pin drop. Greg starts sweating, and for the first time Karen's face loses that icy composure. Is that admissible? Greg asks, voice cracking. Oh, absolutely. Public record, I say. Karen's face turns the color of bad yogurt. You can't. Actually, I can. And I have the police report the insurance claim and a recording where the dispatcher says, "Ma'am, please step back while SWAT secures the suspect." The room goes dead silent. Then from the back, this older neighbor, sweet lady never says much, raises her hand and says, "So, are we finding him, or?" Greg looks like he wants to disappear. We'll need to review this before making any decision. I stand up, shoulders back, feeling every eye in the place. Don't worry, I've already made mine. My business is staying right where it is. And as for your refund, Mrs. Cooper, I let it hang the whole room waiting. Consider it handled by the SWAT team. A couple folks actually laugh. Someone claps, honest to God. Karen's jaw clenches, but for once she's got nothing left. No script, no threat, just the mess she made and nowhere to throw it. And as I walked out, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. Now you'd think that'd be the end, but if you've ever tangled with an HOA or a Karen with a grudge, you know it never really ends. So tell me, where do you draw the line between standing your ground and stirring up trouble? Would you have handled it different, or did the SWAT squad finally bring some justice to suburbia? Drop your wildest HOA or Karen moment in the comments. Smash that like button if you believe in standing up for your business. And don't forget to subscribe, because you never know when the next HOA fine is coming for your mailbox.